Hello, my name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and this is the second session of our second case for Apocalypse Keys. Our series is titled All the Bells on Earth. Uh, we are doing the Manananggal Murders, which is one of the cases from the Apocalypse Keys book. So spoilers for that, though this is a mystery that you could play several different times and come at it in different ways. We have a layered set of safety tools that we're using. Just to remind people, we have our lines, our green, yellow, and red. We have the X card. We also have our open door policy. So just remember that those tools are out there and available. I mentioned those because sometimes when I mention them, people get upset and stop watching the videos. So I love that. That's one of the things I truly enjoy. So as I said earlier this week to another person who left a comment, die mad, bro. So we are here with our characters. We're on our fourth session. We're going to be doing the initial check-ins. We have on our fourth session, so we kind of do the loop back to the first tab on the character keeper. So I'm going to check in with Vane first. Vane, did you get an advance or a ruin move last time?
I did not.
Did not. Okay. And you don't have a start a session move? No?
No.
No. Also, your hair looks great.
Thank you. I think
Looks
so too.
Wow, looks really nice. So what would you like to pick for your start of session, that XP question, the trigger that you're going to be
I
looking
think
at?
I think I'm going to go for did you fight against the prophecy that haunts you?
Okay. And how would you describe the prophecy that haunts you?
Do you mean like a single adjective or like it's a swan in the forest or
Remind us of sort of what the gist of it is.
oh, it's that when I fall in love for the last time, an ancient door of power will open in my heart and destroy the world.
All right. Excellent. Next up is Cetus Jose, our found. I don't think you got an advance last time. But you're at 3 up there, a couple of ruined, plenty of room to go, plenty of room to drop down into the depths. What would you like to pick for your XP trigger?
I thought I'd try a new one. Did you lose yourself to the past and its memories?
I like that. And you don't have a start of session move otherwise, right? Okay.
Nope.
All right. That brings us to our Shade Samson. Stephen, did you get an advance?
I did not.
Okay. So what do you want for your XP trigger question?
Did you give into an unseemly, improper, indiscreet desire of your heart?
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you had talked about making some choices regarding your moves. Are you still happy with the things you've got? Are you still deciding?
I am.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
And there was something we wanted to definitely get on the table this week, wasn't the ghostly agent?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's try and make sure that we get a good scene with that at some point today. And then last but not least, that brings us to Beelzebub. Advance or ruin move or anything?
Nope, nothing like that.
Okay. Well, what did you pick for your start of session question?
Did you protect someone pure and beautiful?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Taking a hopefully less destructive tack.
Let's see how that works out, shall we? Bold move,
Yeah.
Cotton.
Yeah.
So last time, yes.
Oh, Lowell, I just want to say I forgot to mention that I did switch my ruin move.
Oh, okay. What did you end up with then?
Let's see. I switched out the one where I get weapons from Crowned by Dream, Exalted by Nightmare, to Where Do You End and Where Do I Begin, which is the heart-centered move where I kind of can manipulate somebody else's deep desires or emotional states. So I thought that was a little bit more in keeping with the way the character is developing.
So last time you were called to Manila, and you were contacted, essentially division was contacted by a former human division agent who had left the agency having found God, and that is Sister Teresa there in the NPC tab. You arrived, you're in the middle of the typhoon season, the rainy season, arrived at one of these large apartment blocks, big concrete gray. It's that kind of gray where you see the bleed of darker gray off of all the windows as the age has caught up with the place, and wires and bamboo poles attached to the building and things like that. You were brought in by Sister Teresa. She spoke to the group. She introduced her assistant, Sister Dax. He is younger, and you have the sense more rigid. They are part of an order, the Church of the Broken Crucifix. All members of that church are called sisters, regardless of gender. And they are devoted to working in cities with areas of large monster populations, and tending to the monsters who are often at the margins, who are often victimized, and so on. This particular building is a building that houses a large number of Manananggal, and they are creatures of the Aswang sort of general group, but they have a harder time fitting in than some of the other members of that Aswang clan. They can unfold bat-like wings, but even more striking is their ability to detach their upper part of their body from their lower part of the body. During the heat of the day, they often sleep. They're very nocturnal, which means that they're kind of restricted in terms of the kinds of jobs that they can take. So they're involved in call centers, deliveries, any kind of night labor, sex work. All of those things are common things. This building houses a very large population of Manananggal. And there are other magical creatures here, but primarily they live here. They have several generations of people who are present in the building. About 4 weeks ago, some murders began. And in one case, they're fairly certain it's a murder, or at least a death, because they only have the lower half of the person. But 3 victims have been found so far. Samantha Reyes, who is a call center agent, she, her. Then Lilia Bautista, who was a volunteer nurse and activist. And lastly, Jen, who he was a community leader and a healer. And the group got the basic rundown of that. They were given space at one of these buildings, not a particularly great location for you, but you have some privacy. The important thing being that Sister Teresa has asked that you be discreet in your inquiries, that should like full news of this murder go out, it will set panic in these people who really have nowhere to go. And she's afraid of the consequences. It's not that she doesn't want them informed. They're already people who are kind of paranoid and watch out for each other, but she's afraid of what a real panic will do. The group investigated one of the apartments. And in the course of that investigation, they recovered 2 keys. They found in this apartment, and I believe this is the apartment of Samantha Reyes. If I'm recalling, no, Lily, I believe it is actually, now that I think about it. They found a wedding dress hidden away that had been cut across the middle, but it was clearly hidden beneath one of the floorboards there. They have it's a bloody murder scene, pretty awful. The other thing that they found was a dagger with a blood red blade that when they moved it, they could almost hear it cut the air. That they found kind of outside the window of the room where the violent murder took place. And last time I suggested that there's they found it in whatever was a fire escape. What happens in these buildings is, rather than having sort of conventional fire escapes, there are pretty much just bamboo poles and balconies. So people can, with some skill, can climb or shimmy. There are wires and things like that. It's a difficult thing to do, especially with a wet weather, but it is possible. And that's where you would have found the blade, sort of like it fell out of someone's hand and got stuck behind one of the poles. So those are the clues that are on the table. And we have some NPCs that we've added to the thing. We find by so we've got Sister Teresa and Sister Dax, I think, are the people that you've met so far. You also met Mickey Yap, who was the person who, when the group went to the apartment, was kind of waiting outside and asking what was going on. He discovered the body, but the sister has asked that he not tell anyone. So Sister Teresa, Sister Dax, and Mickey Yap are the ones that have been sort of met so far off of the NPC. Did I miss any big details in my retelling there? Good. Sometimes I leave them off deliberately, and sometimes I just forget. So we're going to take up with the 4 of you gathered together in a room. Yes, Cetus?
I have an idea for why Cetus wasn't with you all last week.
Oh, I love it. Please.
So if there's a place to do that, I would love to do that.
But let's hear it, and if we want to, let's find out why.
Yeah. So the short version of it is that he took another route to this scene, and I wanted to use the new move that I got, the walk with me in dreams move.
Okay.
To narrate that. Maybe I would roll it first and then narrate it, or
let's see how much do you want to spend on this?
Let's do a couple. I think I have 3, so I'll do a couple of darkness tokens.
Okay.
So let me just take those out first so I don't forget that part.
Find the roller again.
That puts me 1. Then I go to the roller. Then I put 2 dice in. Then I add 2. And I think that's it. And then I roll. Oh, ouch. That's a 13.
So that is a 13. So
right.
what is it like for you traveling through dream to reach this place? Like what is it you have to do, and what is it experience like for you? And then we'll look at the questions.
Yeah. The first thing that you see is Cetus in the armory, at Division. That's where he had the scene with Vane last time, and he's standing over a pedestal that has a whip made from a stingray's barb. And that is a weapon that's apparently terrifying to the Manananggal. And so Cetus reaches out and touches that weapon as a key to getting into the dreams, the collective dreams of the Manananggal. And so he's going to travel through dreams rather than on the airplane with everybody else.
Okay.
So I think you see him walking down like a deep canyon, and the walls are made of like black volcanic glass, very spiky, and it's like a blood red sky with maybe 3 little moons, and it's very quiet. But you hear like the tinkling of glass as like little shards of glass fall down the canyon towards where he is. And then he looks up when he hears that, and he sees kind of these children with kind of deformed faces in the caves of the canyon. And then there's these tiny like white moths that are leading him. And they lead him to an opening in the canyon where there's a big mound of bodies, dead bodies, that they look like they've all been torn in two. But upon closer inspection, you can see that only the lower halves are there. And then, but then there's something moving inside of the mound. And there's a heaving, and the mound explodes outward, and it reveals this kind of enormous infant with razor sharp teeth and a long serpent's tongue. Let's give it that as well. It towers over Cetus, and then it just goes down as if it's going to eat Cetus. When it does so, suddenly Cetus is plopped into a muddy street in one of the slums of Manila, in the Baseco slum. So it's from a maze of like wooden shacks and twisting narrow streets. And there's pounding rain, like we established before, and he's just breathless. So now bad things happen, right? Because I got a big number.
So you get to choose one from the 8 to 10 list, and then one from the 11 plus list there.
All right, so I think I'm probably in the grasp of something horrifying. That's from the second list, so I should mark ruin on that.
Yeah. There is a moment early on in your passage when the dreamscape shifts, like something grabs a hold of you, and you will find yourself in a hallway, and you see, like, through glass there are bookshelves and things like that, and you can hear like the sound of like maybe some kind of punch card machine or something, and then you hear, "You're not supposed to be here." And then there's the sound of a slot machine, and then you are thrown out of that and back into this transit that you are on, and you feel like something tried to get a hold of you, tried to hold you in place, but you were able to get away from it. And what do you want for the 8 to 10 result?
So, I'm trying to understand, and then maybe you can help me understand the declare and irrevocable, I can say that, truth about the mystery. So that's not the same as getting a key, right?
That's correct. So we have a set of facets for the mystery. These are the things that we're going to, at the end, associate with. And you would have the opportunity to write one of those. It's a little early in the sense that you don't like have as much context as you might have later on to make that rewrite to the facet.
So I would weave something together around the facet based on what we
well, I
already
mean, you
had.
could say there is no door power. There's something else. That's the way that that is a very powerful move, but does require probably a little bit of having stuff under your feet first.
Okay. So maybe I'll hold back on that one then. And maybe I could unearth a secret. And the secret is that I think the Manananggal, it's about the murders. Oh, so this won't be a key, but
Sure.
but it's just a secret. That they were lured in and somehow destroyed when they attempted to feed on infants, which I think is one of their things.
Well, that's a myth.
That's a myth. Oh, did we say that's a
myth?
myth? Oh, okay, so that's not. They don't feed on infants. Okay.
Right. No, in fact, that's sort of the negative propaganda that's used to demonize them.
Okay, so they don't feed on infants. All right, so I take that one back. How about something about the door? So the infant that I saw is actually more of a metaphor for the door. That the door is somehow consuming the Manananggal's souls, and when it's sufficiently fattened up, it will open.
So you realize that, like, the doors there are many ways to open these doors. They are the way that the harbinger uses to ascend, and you can tell that there is, like, that there's a very clear thing, that it is a classic, whoever this harbinger is. I mean, they are using those souls, whether they murdered the Manananggal or someone else did. They are using that power, that force, to open that door. That seems fair. Yeah.
Sure. And should I write that somewhere, or?
No, that's a secret we have as part of the context. You can put it beside, and we've got that sort of mystery notes space there. You can put that there.
Okay.
So let's take up Cetus has arrived like a wet rat out in the rain, having come back in here. Though Cetus is a good-looking guy, so even wet, that water probably glistens on him. And so we see the four of you there, a very thin sheet slash towel used to towel him off. And I don't know if the four of you want to discuss strategies for the next day. It's late this night, or how you want to discuss this right now. Kind of don't really have a great roadmap for how you want to proceed. In situations like this, these kind of planning situations and talking through operations, Vane, what is your usual mood or approach? Are you attentive to these things? Are you bored by these things?
God, they just talk and talk and talk and fucking talk some more. I wish just somebody would hurry up and make a decision. And so I will propose various bizarre things just to see if I can get things moving.
What is the bizarre thing that when we come into the scene that you have just proposed?
I have proposed that we conduct a seance with his wedding dress.
Okay. Samson?
I wholeheartedly agree. I think that speaking to the dead is the best way that we could. I think that was a very astute plan. Yes.
Beelzebub?
Yeah, sure. And I'm like waving my sort of like my cigar in the air as I'm saying this, right? That's We could do that. That's a thing we should do. We should also talk to people. I think that's important. I think we should
You muted yourself again.
Sorry, I was playing with, hold a key to mute and it did weird things. Sorry. So we should definitely talk to the sisters, talk to the elder, talk to whoever we can find, see what they know. And yeah, that wedding, dead people too. Talk to them. It's gotten you results in the past, Samson.
So maybe it sounds like how we want to, like, this is a way that we can handle this, is we'll kind of cut to the next day when the Manananggal are going to be around, back from various night duties and things like that. You've established your cover that you're doing some kind of sociological survey, though that's a very loose cover. Beelzebub was not down with providing a cover of any sophistication. And let's kind of do and once around, let's start, I think this time, since I believe that both Vane and Beelzebub got the 2 keys last time. So let's start with Samson. Do you think calling on the spirits of the dead is something you do in a solitary way, or do you have the group around the next day when you do this? How do you think you proceed?
I think normally this is something that I don't do in front of people, but because Vane mentioned it, I kind of want to show off to them and make sure that this looks impressive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a playbook move that you're using, or are we just doing kind of classic grasp keys using your powers?
Let's see. I have a couple of moves. I'm not sure that they apply. One is whenever you use your analytical skills to devise a plan. I don't think that's this.
Right.
When you seek to reconstruct events or learn something valuable in an area, and again, I think that's not this. This is talking to the dead.
Okay.
I think this would be more probably just generic grasping at keys.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
have let the dead speak. How do you bring your ghostly agent friend into this? Like, how are they here to assist or take notes or observe? Like, where are they in this moment?
So I think once the plan is proposed by Vane, I pull the Agent Corber off to the side, and I talk to them a little bit, and we devise kind of a not really theatrical thing, but something to kind of encourage ghosts to arrive and talk with us. Like this is a good place for ghosts to be. And he's kind of my what's it called whenever he's my plant, right? He's the one
Okay.
who's acting as if, and calling the ghosts and being like, oh, this is the place, right? This is where these are the people we need to talk to. They'll fix our stuff. Yeah.
I like the idea of a real ghost as a plant for this. That works.
Yeah.
How many tokens do you want to spend?
I think I'll spend 2.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a total of 5.
So that is a 5. So let's look at that basic move. You find more than you were ready for. You can choose to mark ruin to uncover a key. But in doing so, the keeper reveal how you come closer to becoming a harbinger. Do you wish to mark ruin?
I think I do, yes.
Okay. It's also a miss, and I'll come back to the implications for that in a second. But I think that This place is haunted with a capital H. And the four of you are there, and you send your plant out, and the ghosts come. And I mean all of the ghosts. And the Manananggal and the others who died here, the ones under U.S. occupation, the ones from the time of Spanish colonial conquest, all of those, they start pouring in. And for the rest of you in the room, you can feel the room air gets stuffy, but I think for Samson, it is jam-packed with people here of all kinds, all of them talking in different languages and accents and dialects, and kind of pouring and pressing in on you. And you can feel just how thin that membrane is, that veil between the living and the dead, and that you could easily, the darkness says, you could easily tear that open. You could easily let the ghosts through forever and bleed out into this place. I would like you to mark a condition.
I'm going to mark. I'm going to mark lonely.
Okay. But I think that as you are kind of pulling through there, you will get an image of a Manananggal, like a figure, no specific face, but of voice that carries through, and you hear this voice of one of the Manananggal saying, pleading, screaming, please, please, I won't tell anyone. I swear it. And then there's a ripping sound, and that voice goes silent. And that's your key, is that voice that cuts through.
And I think that whenever I hear that ripping sound, I think I actually start to reach out. This is where the temptation comes to separate the veil between the living and the dead. And I reach out as if I can just pierce that barrier a little bit, I might be able to find that person who is asking and begging for, and I think that's when my ghostly agent, Agent Corber, you know, intercedes. I think he was playing his part through the whole process until he saw that I'd gone too far. And whenever I pull back, that's why I feel so lonely, is because they're just right there. They're just, they're kind of my people on the other side. And if I just open that veil, I wouldn't be so lonely anymore. But I can't do that.
And I think as you bring yourself back to like focus there, you'll realize that time has stopped, not out of your volition, but you will see a figure covered in black veils, and it reaches out to you and it says, I love you, and I will have a gift for you, and I will give you the wings that you need to fly away from this place. What will you give me in exchange, my love?
But what are you asking for? I mean, you have
Love does
everything that
not
I need.
ask. Love is given. I will come back when you are ready to open your heart to me.
Okay.
As this figure vanishes and the second tick on the doomsday clock is struck, So that happened to you. Let's kind of cut forward. Well, actually, what is it you tell the group before I kind of cut forward to the next day and kind of do the once around to check in with what everyone's doing? What do you tell them happened?
I think during the process, because of the overwhelming number of voices, I'm distracted, so I can't really talk about anything, you know. It, and to be honest, I think they're getting it the whole time. And I think after it, I'm kind of exhausted and confused, and I kind of withdraw a little bit, and I'm like, you know, y'all got all of that, right? And if I'm not mistaken, they didn't hear anything, right? It got
Correct.
stuffy, and that was about it. So then I have to slow down and explain, there were so many here. It was difficult to tell what was going on, but, um, well, I did hear one that was screaming and begging, and I think that's the one that we're looking for. And then it was ended. And was threatened by a figure in black, but not sure. I'm not sure how much that pertains to this.
It's your usual figure in black,
It could just be another ghost. You know how
Yeah.
they are.
So we will cut forward a little bit. We'll kind of do that wipe that suggests we're in that next day there as the rain is still going, but the morning heat is kind of coming up here, which makes it just immediately muggy. That kind of humidity that gets in, and there is no escaping it. There's no breeze or fan that will cure this. It is heavy and wet. But Vane, what is it that you want to do? Do you want to go and talk to somebody? Do you want to look at a place? Do you want to track down something? What is it you want to do?
Well, what I really want to do is set something on fire, but that doesn't seem like that's going to advance things. So, well, yeah, it couldn't hurt.
Never know. Flush something or someone out.
That's true.
Now you said it couldn't hurt. I'm actually thinking that might not be the case, but go on.
Well, so we've examined one person's room where we found the wedding gown, but and that was they died there, but
Yeah.
we haven't examined the other scenes of death or those people's rooms, although those ones did not die in their rooms.
That is correct.
Okay.
They have bagged up the lower half of one of the people that the top half is missing. And they do have the location outside the building where the other body was found.
Let's go look at that location.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you will head on downstairs. Literally downstairs. You have a choice of these steps that are kind of concrete with like metal straps on them, but there's all those gaps, that very open stairway that when you step on them, you can kind of feel the give of the concrete. Or the back steps that are just pure concrete and incredibly uneven. Like these were clearly built by people in the apartment building. They're not part of the code of this place. And you'll, wander down here. There are, as you come out sort of into the bottom level of this, and there's a lot of connecting overhangs between this building and nearby buildings, and planks and walkways to make it easier to be on the sidewalk so you don't have to walk in your ankles in the water that's in the street. But at the bottom of this apartment building, there's like a little, I wouldn't call it a cafe. It's a place where you can get food, and there are little tables, and they have tea, and they have a walk and some food stuff, and they'll fix that up for you. There's a lot of these kinds of places. You'll see there are a couple of itinerant tattoo artists working just on boxes there on the street. There's a barber shop that's there, that they've got stuff in the doorway to kind of keep the water from coming in. And you will walk down a couple of blocks until you get to this location where it's an alley that was just, they told you the body was found there. And you'll see that there are a set of people there because it's kind of got a overcover a couple of floors up, so it's out of the rain. They've got some kind of box with markings in it, and they've got dice, and they're throwing it, and they're kind of sitting around gambling. So do you want to talk to them? Do you want to get them out of there? Do you want to just investigate? Like, oh, what's your manner here? Do you look at all like you fit in here?
I know Vane doesn't look like
Okay.
like they fit in at all.
There's a look, and all of them turn and look at you. Like, they nod at you, and they get real quiet. Like the gambling stops. They're kind of sitting there.
Did any of you know, and then I will say the name of the victim, which I presumably know in character, but have managed to forget in person.
Yes. So this is where Jen, the community leader, was killed. And one of them will say, it was a talker, mouthpiece from the Weird Building, the Weirdlings, two buildings down, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What of him?
Well, he's died. Trying to find out how.
People always die around here. People get sick. Things happen.
Yeah, this happened real fast and violently. And Bane will actually kind of like Bane is kind of like, oh, there's a chance for maybe a fight here, and Bane is actually going to take a step kind of like involuntary step forward, as though ready to pick a fight.
This is you enforcing your will. You're trying to provoke them, to get something out of them.
Yes.
So this feels like Unleash the Dark.
It does.
Do you think you get any darkness tokens from what you've done setting this up?
Yeah, I think I get a couple of darkness tokens from this.
Overreact with violence. Grab yourself a couple of those, and then tell me, how many do you want to spend on this roll to enact your will on these people?
I am going to spend 2, but I'm going to apologize in advance because the big dice are downstairs.
Oh,
and
no.
30 seconds to run downstairs and
Sure.
grab them.
I thought she was going to say she can't use the big dice.
No,
Really made me cry.
No.
Gotta use the big dice.
They are. I picked them up. They are very, very heavy.
While they're running that errand, can I ask a quick question? I guess about meta knowledge, or like
absolutely
outside. So, like, it's obvious that some of the myths about Manananggal are also myths in the fiction too.
Yeah,
and they're pernicious canards or whatever,
bad reputation, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but I'm picking. There's all of this stuff about like definitely dead because they just found his lower torso. Wedding dress cut in half, right? And one of the Manananggal things is that they separate at the waist.
Yeah.
Is that something that like we would be aware of as agents of
100%. You're aware
yeah.
of the situation. You're aware of the general myths. You're aware that the whole baby eating thing is false. Any of that stuff, you have been briefed on that, so you have that working knowledge.
Right. And so they don't split at the waist. You're saying
they do.
Real. Oh, they do.
They
so
do.
like in theory, the other half of that person could be out there somewhere flying around chilling.
Except that the legs have begun to decay.
Got
which
it.
Suggests that the top half is
otherwise
dead.
not.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
No, that's a good question. All right, Vane. Let's. You spent 2. You said.
Yep.
Okay. Roll.
9 altogether.
Okay. So let's look at Unleash the Dark. You get to choose two things from that list.
Sorry, I was looking at the NPCs, so it's gonna take me a second.
Sure.
I'm sorry, this is a basic move, isn't it?
Yeah.
Unleash the Dark. Okay, I'm going to get what I want from them, which is I want information. And I think there's going to be no reprisals.
Okay. So you get up on them and you loom over them, and you have a presence to you, and they will kind of lean away, and you'll hear a voice kind of from a little bit further down the alley say, "Ha da 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 da." Wonderful demon. And you'll see this guy. He's kind of a little bit wizened. He's maybe 4 feet tall. He's got an enormous bowl on his head. And he's very clearly not human. And he says, let me send these gentlemen away, and we can have a conversation. May we?
That sounds very good to me.
Okay. And they'll look at him, and they will pick up their things and go. And he will point to an overturned bucket, and he sits down on one and invites you to sit down on the other.
I say, I beg pardon. Well, actually, no, Vane would not say that. Vane is like, well, we're here because we're investigating Jin's death. What do you know about it?
Straight to the point then. I know that there have been some unusual things. I know that there are some people upset about the Manananggal, irritated. Jin has ruffled some feathers. He has been a staunch advocate for his people, the downtrodden of that, and he's ruffled feathers both amongst the humans and amongst the Aswang, where he's been too loud. We like to be quiet. We like to, like I do, stay in the shadows until we need to.
Is this a Manila creature, or do I know?
Yeah, I think you can tell that he's one of the class of sort of, how do I put this? Dwarves. There's a whole set of those, the Duende, Tianak, and so on. And he seems to be one of those. They're a little bit higher up on the food chain than the Manananggal.
Okay.
Says, that's what I can tell you. Do you want to push on him harder? Do you want to grasp for keys here?
Actually, I'm going to glance over and see if any of my companions wish to push him on
Oh, you brought some
anything.
people with you?
Well, are we all there?
Not necessarily. I assumed you
Oh.
went on your own.
Oh,
Unless you're going to tell me that someone is with you, because I'm cool with
no,
that.
that's fine. I'm sure Vane would go off and be by herself. Yeah, sure. Looking for a key in that case. Going to push it all the way.
Okay. How many darkness tokens do you want to spend?
I let's. I've got 2 left, so I'm gonna use those 2 as well. Like 2 and 6, so that's 8. So it's 10
10.
altogether.
He will say, you seem like a decent person, or rather less awful than
Insulted.
no. I mean, I expected the rending and tearing when I saw your shadow fall over the alley. I thought blood would come soon. We are so used to people from outside just coming in and killing us. So I never expected that, because you're certainly not
It
from
was
around
very
here.
noble of me. Very unexpectedly noble. Yes.
Oh,
I will
yes.
agree.
Bring your colonizer blood here. After Jin was killed here, and they cleared away the body, I am one of those people who scavenges very well, looks for things, and I will give you something that I found.
Very well.
And he will pull out a set of rusty keys that he sets on the bucket in front of you. And he says, it's etched in an old language. These old rusty keys, like inscribed, I think it might be by Bayan, old language. I can't read it because I can't read, but I
Fair enough.
recognize that it is that.
Fair enough. Well, excellent. All
Wasn't
right.
here the day before, but it was the day after.
The day
So
after.
you do the new math.
Fair enough, I say. Okay. And
What is your name, demon?
Vane.
Vane. Okay. I
And-
will remember that and tell others.
And your name,
My name is Pappas.
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 Well, Vane is not particularly couth, so she's not even going to thank him. She's just going to stride off into the night, brusquely.
Grab,
Snatch
snatch,
the key, and yep.
stand up. All right. Let's take our first break here. When we come back, we'll do Beelzebub, and then we'll do Cetus, and then we'll see where we're at. Sound good?
Awesome.
Okay. So take 10. So let's take up Vane's out accosting a dwarf in an alley, but getting information out of it. Beelzebub, let's come to you. What do you want to do? Who do you want to talk to? Who do you want to take with you? What do you want? How do you want to handle this?
I'm happy to bring anyone, who wants to come with me with. I guess Vane is kind of occupied at the moment, but I want to talk to. You're gonna have to excuse me. I want to talk to like the sort of the Manananggal leader. Whether
Elder?
whether that's Elder or how do you pronounce her name?
I am. Let me get to the NPC tab here real quick.
I don't know if she is sort of the elder, but if she is, that's why I want to talk to. Or Duha or Duya or Duja. I'm not sure.
I'm going to say Urduya.
Urduya. Okay. So yeah, Elder Urduya. Love to have a word with her. I'm sure she knows what's going on behind the scenes here.
So, who are you taking with you?
Whoever wants to come. I think I sort of say, well, I want to, rot starts at the top, so let's, which is nonsense. Rot starts at the top. Let's see. let's see what this communal leader has to say for herself. If anyone wants to come with me, as Cetus or Samson.
Either one
I'm
of you
happy to
in?
come with you.
Sure.
So we'll cut to an area here of the building that is a little cleaner. Definitely has a little bit older feel, like these are occupants that have been here for a time, for maybe a couple of generations, that they've set their stake here, set their claim, and where other things might change on a dime, they've settled in. And Sister Teresa will tell you where to go, and say there is some tension between her and what our order does. So just be aware of that.
Sure, sister.
And you knock, and a maybe 12, 13-year-old girl who's in what you're guessing is maybe like a shaman priestess's trainee robes kind of thing, will open the door, and we'll look at you and will nod and then shut the door. And then a few moments later, we'll open it again, and you can see this large room. There are pillows, carpets, there are boughs of branches from different trees that are hung here. There are wreaths with different colored leaves on them. There are various beadwork that seem to have some symbolic resonance to them. And the elder is seated there in the elder's ceremonial robes. And they will look at you and will say, I do not know if I should welcome a destroyer like you into my household. I cannot hear a word you say.
I'm first encountering a named NPC.
Okay.
So I would like to remember the taste of her.
Okay. So
the way that works is when you first encounter a named NPC, faction, or monster, you may declare that the remnants within you recognize them. When you do so, spend darkness tokens and roll. The keeper will tell you something significant and valuable, even on a miss, on 8 to 10 choices, on 11 plus choices, on a 7 minus. They know about the remnants within you and the power of your hunger. They will immediately place you in a vulnerable position. The keeper will tell you what happens next.
Let's have you roll. How many tokens do you want to spend?
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna spend. What happens if I overdo it here? Is it something cool? Yeah, I'm cool with overdoing it. I'm gonna roll 3 tokens.
Okay.
Use 3 tokens. And 2d6 plus 3. Roll. So that is a 12.
That is a 12. So how do we know that this affects you strongly? What does Cetus see?
I think Cetus sees the monster within me, and I think the elder probably sees this as well. Like I think this is very visible. Like the skeletal structure of the monster within me, right, sort of pushes against my skin, especially if I'm fully clothed in sort of thick clothes, but my against the skin of my face, right? So like my cheekbones get a little squarer, my jaw sort of juts out a little bit, right? I think like my eyes start to look more sunken as my like the eye holes of my skull sort of push against my skin. It's creepy. It's very creepy.
So
Um,
let me tell you something about her, and then you can decide what you want to do from that choice of the 11 plus. I think you see her, and you can see that she's probably one of the oldest Manananggal in this country. You can see that she is aged, but still dangerous. But I think you can also see that there are signs, markings that she was in her day a dangerous and powerful sorcerer, caster of magic, however we wish to say that. But clearly there was a fight, and clearly she spent all of that. And that magic was spent fighting humans.
All right. And what was, I mean, so this is, I have this knowledge from sort of like one of the remnants within me, right?
Yeah.
Something I fed on that hungered. Like, do I have a sense of what that relationship was?
Yeah, I think that
Was it one of the humans that she was fighting?
Yeah, I think that one of the humans, one of the sort of anthropologist sorcerers who came, in the 20th century with the US forces, that you ate later when they were on a dig in Egypt.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So remind me, she said like I shouldn't let a what like me in.
Why should I let a destroyer like you into my household?
I take a step forward. And like I said, last session I described I'm wearing this like suit and kind of an overcoat, right? Well, what's the weather like? Is it summery or wintry?
Oh God, it's just rain. It's just rain, rain, and more rain.
Yeah, so I'm wearing like a long raincoat over a very nice suit, and I kind of pull back my coat and my collar, probably unbutton my top button and pull back my collar as I walk towards her, and I say, "Come now, little sister. Um, I know you were a destroyer in your day too, and we we have fed on the same prey. And I offer her my throat to feed on me, which is one of the choices I have. I can where is it?
So what does she see? Is there a sign of this soul?
No. What I'm doing is I'm offering her an opportunity. I'm offering them a part of me to feed on, right? So I don't know, like I know they're the sort of reputation of the Manananggal is that they're somewhat vampiric. I don't know if that's true or not here.
I think that she will gesture to her apprentice, who will pick up a tiny silver knife and a little cup, and will kind of come over to you and gesture for you to bend over a little. And she will cut and draw some of your blood. And then she will carry it back over to her elder, and you will see the elder take one of the candles and roll a little wax and put it like a seal on top of that, and she sets this little vial of your blood off to the side.
Okay,
you may gain a bond.
Interesting.
Probably not going to feed like that.
Interesting. So
she says, "What is your name?"
Yeah, I tell her I'm Beelzebub.
And who is this mist that stands beside you?
Cetus, you can speak for yourself.
Hello, Elder. My name's Cetus. I'm here with him.
You're barely there, aren't you?
I come and go a bit. I can be more here if that'd be more comfortable for you.
Not my comfort either way. Come and sit. You are from that agency then?
I mean, they pay my rent.
What do you want?
You're here to learn more about what's been preying on your people, if anything.
If anything. That is a
That's
strange way to put it.
That's what they told us to say. We're here to help you out.
Really?
Really and truly.
I think you're here to stop whatever disaster it is that might occur. And that only that possibility is the thing that would draw you and yours down to this place.
I lean forward a little bit and I say, I'm here to hunt whatever is hunting the Manananggal.
We are hunted by many. Many humans hate us, want us gone. They permit us to live here for the moment, but all it will take is the turn of a single tide and they will fall upon us. I have no doubt that it is a human at work at the heart of this.
How close am I? You said we all sat down.
Oh yeah, you are within, like you're in it is not a big room. So you're fairly close. Like if you were to scooch forward a little, lean over, you could probably touch her.
Okay. I think Cetus leans forward and says, Elder, I've walked through the dreams of the Manananggal, and I know the terrors that assault you. And he leans forward and he just touches her hand just lightly. And I think I want to use my move. I know this is Beasel's scene, so I don't want to encroach upon him.
This is our scene. Do what you want here.
Okay.
What is the move you want to trigger here?
I wanted to trigger my starting move. What is it called? It is called You Can't Hide Your Heart from Me. Okay. So I will spend a couple of darkness tokens. And I will go to the roller. And I will roll. Oh, shoot, I'm rolling really high today. This is not going to go well. So on a 14, which is what I've gotten, my mind bleeds, their mind bleeds into mine.
Okay.
I choose one from above and they will choose one to ask me as well. And then the keeper tells you how their heart is corrupted by your power, and I gain one bond with them. I think the choice I'll take from the list is what are you hiding is always a good one. So that's the one I'll take.
I think it's that she lost her powers in that fight against that foreign sorcerer, but that to her shame, he first took her love and that made her vulnerable, and then used that against her, and well, she bested him and sent him away, it cost her dearly. And you're handsome and pretty, and she does not care for that.
Love betrayal. Get it?
Yeah. What are you truly afraid of, Cetus?
Okay, truly afraid of, not most recently afraid of.
Right. I don't want to be eaten by a giant baby.
I don't want to be eaten by a giant baby. No, no, no. What am I truly afraid of? I think Cetus is truly afraid that if he regains his memories, he will stop being who he is, and he himself, who he takes himself to be right now, will be annihilated, will be lost. It'll be subsumed by some other being that seems alien to him, and he will cease to exist.
And she will reach out her other hand and put it atop the one that you touched her with, and she says, "That is a very bad choice that you have made. I am the elder. I am the keeper of the dreams for the Manananggal. And you have left a little bit of you with me, and you will always be connected to this dream. And you will not find it pretty."
And Cetus shudders a little bit and removes his hand.
But you get a bond with her.
All right, a bond with the elder.
Let me come back to you two to kind of continue that conversation, get more context here. Samson, what are you up to?
I think I'm contemplating what the dead spoke to me about, as well as the visage that I saw at the very end, trying to figure out, what am I going to do about this? Where can I go here?
Are you sitting in a room? Are you wandering the halls? What do you think?
I think I'm sitting in a room by myself, but I'm trying to commune with the dead that I know, Agent Corber, the professor, others that I'm familiar with, trying to figure out what the right way to go here is.
Let me give you something. Like you are concentrating, like trying to say, and you'll hear on the door.
I'll get up and answer it. Yeah.
And you will open it, and you will see this very, how do I put this best, Caucasian dude, who has this kind of bandana hat on and shirt, and you can see he's got his phone, and he looks at you and he's like, "Oh, holy shit, man."
I don't think we need anything of what you're selling.
Oh, no, no, no. Hey, hang on, hang on. Look. You're from, like I heard about you guys. You are from like the Vision people, right? You're strangers here too. You're not from here, like me. Yeah. We can help each other out.
What kind of help do you think I need?
Look. It took me a long time to get in with these people. And even still, they I get the sense that maybe they don't fully accept me. But that took a while to get to that, and maybe I can help you. I can show you the way. My name's Franklin Wolf. Maybe you watch my channel,
No,
Way of
I
the
don't.
Wolf.
I don't channel anything like that. So
No. I'm like an influencer.
okay.
I've got like 65,000 followers.
And so, what do you want from me?
Like, uh, so I like came here and uh like I had a whole thing I was gonna do, but like it didn't kind of pan out because I thought it'd be worse than it is. And people don't want to see just kind of unpleasantness. They like to see the dirt and stuff, and I really can't get a shot of that. But I thought like maybe if I help you, you help me, and I could get a story.
Are you sure you want the kind of story that might be involved here? I'm not sure you. I'm not sure
You
you
say that
know.
that was all fucking ominous and shit. I'm looking. Yeah, absolutely, man.
And how are you going to help me?
Look. I know this place. I've had to walk around and fit in. I know who knows who. I know what places are. I don't know if you eat, but I know what places are to eat that are okay. Like I can help you out. I can be like your guide.
I'm not sure that it's very safe for you to be around me and my companions.
I paid my dues. You see this sunburn? I put in my dues. I know what that's like, man. I've suffered for my art. Uh, so what do you want to do, Samson? You certainly have a multitude of abilities to drive him off or freak him out or whatnot, or could you utilize him. What do you think?
Not sure. I mean, I'm half tempted to um indulge him enough to scare him about abandoning this place, but by doing so, you know, though some of us might end up eating him, so who knows? Let's see. Not sure that there's a good move. Um, yeah, let's push this and see what it's like to scare him.
Okay. Uh, so the move for this is unleash the dark. That's again imposing your will on someone. Does that feel like what you want to do?
Um, I think I'm instead going to engage my ghostly agent,
Okay.
and I'm going to see if I can't introduce the two of them. Um, let's see. I'm going to spend one token and roll.
Okay.
And what I'm looking to do here is one of the options for the ghostly agent is to take their hand and travel physically through the veil.
Okay.
And I can take someone along with me if I mark a condition. And I think I would introduce him to the dark angel that I saw in the last scene to see if they might get along. So
All
let's
right.
see what that looks like. Let me roll that and see. So that is an 8 total, which is the middle range. Great.
And this is on what was the move called?
It's called Division Ghostly Agent.
Okay, let me division
When
moves.
you call upon the ghostly agent for help, draw them into your darkness and open your heart to them. And spend darkness tokens and roll. And then I have some choices. I'm going to take their hand and travel physically through the veil, physically appearing anywhere that the veil of death can touch. Take another with you, mark a condition, and I'm going to mark vicious. And I'm going to take Franklin Wolf and
Okay.
um and see if I can't contact the I'm not sure how to put it, the dark angel figure that appeared to me before.
Yeah, I'm not sure you know what that is, except that it's Doom itself.
Okay. So in that case, I think I just want to introduce him to some shades that are scary enough to see if anything knocks loose.
Okay.
At least what I think would happen here is that it would scare him enough that maybe he would go running away. But maybe he'll be useful and maybe something will happen.
So you get 2 picks. The first one
Oh.
is you're going to mark a condition and drag him physically through the veil, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, the screaming starts almost immediately.
Great.
And I think that you immediately drag him out to the other side and through a host of things. Might even get a fragment and see a bit of Cetus's dream with the giant baby before that's returned back. What do you want as your other pick?
I think the other pick that makes the most sense will be whisper into my ghostly agent friend's ear and reveal a secret that's burdened my heart and gain a bond with that ghostly agent. And I think what this is I lean forward as Franklin is distracted and is panicked. I think I tell Jamie, my friend, the ghostly agent, maybe the more people who are living that I pull through the veil, the more friends we will have.
I think that's fair. I think the ghostly agent will say, be very careful. That is what the darkness wishes.
Well, won't they end up here at some point anyway?
That is rationalization that is going to take you down the path that you can't return from. And I think that in the scene that like the volume gets turned up and we can hear now the like panicked scrabbling sound of him as you drop him back in the real world, where he drags himself up to the door, kind of looks back at you, fumbles to like still keeps a hold of his camera, like he's freaked out, but he's got his camera, and he will run out of here. Let's come back to Vane. Vane, you talk to a dwarf, you kind of maybe wandering back to the building, and you'll hear
Feeling quite proud of myself.
And you'll see this white guy go running past you screaming.
And I will pause and just sort of stand and watch him run down the street until he is out of sight.
Yeah.
And then turn back.
Head on in.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll see Samson there.
There was a guy screaming running down the street, Samson.
Oh, yeah, yes, that's my new friend Franklin. Franklin channels people too.
Of course. All right. I got, and I'll brandish my set of rusty keys. Let's see. I have a clue.
Ooh. Well, I think you've been quite a bit more successful than I have. That's really good. What do the keys mean?
No idea, but they were on Jen's. Is it Jen?
Jin.
Jin. Jin's. They were found at the scene of his death, and I'll show that they are there. There's some strange language on them.
Well, I can't read this language. Maybe Cetus or Beelzebub will be able to.
I think that's a good idea.
You know where they
So-
are?
No. So we'll look around for our absent friends.
I think as you kind of move around out there, again, it's gotten quiet now because the day has kind of started, and you can tell that the Manananggal, a lot of them are going into slumbered. But you will see this person in overalls and a kind of leather jacket, darker skinned, who has a kind of cigar in their mouth, and they're walking through the hall. They kind of like past that little food stand place, and they'll look at you two, and they'll say, can I help you two?
I'm here to get coffee.
Okay. This isn't a Starbucks. Okay. Like they kind of stand there like get the sense that this might be like the building super of some kind.
Okay.
And they'll kind of cross their arms and watch you two.
I seem absolutely oblivious to this. Just absolutely freaking oblivious.
Do you get coffee or do you just walk on by?
I'm gonna get coffee.
Okay.
It's been a long day.
Yeah. The person will turn on the kettle, see them take a couple scoops of Folgers Instant, put that in a cup for you, get that ready, pour that up. It's grainy.
I bet it's horrible.
It
Just the way we like it in hell.
Yes. Samson, what are you doing?
I think as the super is making the coffee, I ask him, you know,
Them.
I ask them, you know, tell me, have you seen any of our friends, or, you know, they were staying here with us?
Wait. You're staying here? Are you with Sister Teresa?
Yes.
Okay. I haven't seen any other outsiders around. I'm Georgie. I'm a duende. I'm the building's custodian. Sister Teresa really should have come and said that people had come.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We didn't know your protocols, and we didn't intend to
It's
impose
not
on anyone.
protocol. It's not protocol. It's called politeness, not a protocol. Look, I'm not your dad, so it's all good. It's all good.
Well, I'm sorry for the impoliteness.
Okay, I'll take that. That seems fair enough. That seems fair enough. Okay. So can I ask why you two are here? Kind of gestures over to one of these like tables with mismatched chairs, as if like let's sit down and talk.
Sure. I'm gonna drink my delicious coffee.
Okay. I'm Georgie. You
I'm
are
Samson.
Samson? Oh, that's a good name.
Bane.
Very biblical. And vain.
Bane.
Like the sin? Or like a weather?
Like the weather.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I said I was Georgie, right? Right? You heard me, right? Okay.
Yes.
So Sister Teresa? Oh, she brought you in?
Yes,
Some
we're
others?
working with her.
About the killings?
She's an old friend.
Well, I hope you get some stuff figured out. I really do. It's bad.
Do you know anything about them?
I knew all of them that got killed. I knew a lot of them a long time. I knew Jin forever and a day. And it's hard. It's hard. These aren't great times, and that doesn't make things better.
Do you have any idea what or who might have had something out for them?
No. Figuring that out takes brains. That's not my department.
Well, what is your department?
I'm the building custodian. I'm a duende. That's what we do.
So you have been repairing things and taking care of things. Has anything specifically been out of place?
Like strange?
Yeah. I mean, something not normal. Yeah.
Do you want to grasp a key, Samson?
I can. Let's do that. Let's see. I think I'm going to take a key because I think I've been logical with Georgie, and I
Okay.
will immediately spin that key.
Darkness
And
token.
or token, yes. And let's see what that looks like. That is an 8.
An 8. Georgie will lean back and will say, well, there is one thing that's weird. Like, we get graffiti all the time. I gotta wash it down, gotta clean it up, gotta wipe it out, that kind of thing. Not the good stuff, not the stuff where you can see that they know what they're doing and they leave, you know, uh leave it better looking than when it was. I mean the crap graffiti, the dumbass shit, and the nasty shit that people write. And there's some every once in a while, but for a while now, like over a month, uh every few days I'll find on the outside of the building and sometimes even on the inside lower floors, uh weird shit. Like how do I put this? Uh People have said that redemption is coming and punishment is coming. And like they change up the words, but that's the gist of it each time. Uh I can't tell if it's the same person. Probably is because they're saying the same thing, but it keeps popping up.
And you don't ever catch the people who are graffitiing things?
No. Now, if I did, I'd take a stick to him. Does that help?
I don't know. It might. And I kind of lean back and look over at Vane.
Take a stick to him. They seemed very amused by this.
You think that's too much? Too violent?
No, not at all.
Like the opposite of that?
It's just enough. If it's a good stick, do you have stick advice? Did you want to refine it with stick advice?
I don't know. No. You make me nervous. Like you got an edge to you that says that I don't want to make any kind of deal or bargain with you. I can smell that a ways away.
The prejudice. It's just killing me. All right. Well, it's obvious you haven't met my colleagues.
Let me cut away from you two there, back upstairs to Beelzebub and Cetus. She'll look back after this exchange between her and Cetus, and we'll look back to you, Beelzebub. You came here for a reason?
Yeah. We were hoping you'd be able to tell us something. smelled something in the wind, know someone or something, you'd have more than just these suspicions that you're tossing around.
She says, we are always put upon, and we are those who are most vulnerable, but this doesn't feel like just another hate crime, another attack on us by the humans. Why don't you make grasping keys?
Yeah, that's what I was pushing for. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, I asked someone to. I think. I think before I do it, before as part of this conversation, I lean forward again, and my my collar is still loose, right? So if I lean forward, I don't quite pull it back, but I reveal sort of the hollow of my neck again. And then it's like in the midst of this conversation, I say, I know you fed on on some part of me before. I'm sure you want to again. Just take a little sip, little sister. And I know you're hungry for it. And I'm going to take. I'm asking someone to give into their hunger here. I think there's a sense of like that. I'm pushing also that there's a grievance that she's hungry to have redressed here. She's clearly very aggrieved, legitimately. And I'm sort of like offering her something of myself, like to feed that hunger.
How many tokens do you want to take?
I'm taking 4 tokens for that. I'm curious how she responds to that. Does she ignore it? Does she?
She looks at you, and then she puts her hand over by the vial. And she says, I have enough. I do not need another taste of you and of what you bear within you.
Yeah, I shrug, and I'm going to spend 2 of those tokens.
Okay.
Roll 2d6. That's 12.
That is a 12. So on a 12 plus, you uncover a key, but there's significant complication, cost, or fallout. So she will say, there is a thing that I have seen that is new, and she will, reach under a pillow and she will pull out a pamphlet, and you see it's a pamphlet for redevelopment. Looks like
at least the gentrifiers.
Yeah, essentially, particularly announcing the coming of human-friendly condominiums, and the neighborhood in broad terms is kind of shown there. There's no specifics, but the elder will say, we have seen many of these. It is a new thing.
Yes, well, this makes it seem like it is just another bunch of greedy humans.
And that's when the wall explodes out and shatters into the room as this giant serpent head smashes into you and Cetus. And that's where we'll take our break, and we'll come back from that in just a moment. So take 5. Yep. So this snakehead, enormous, dark green, smashed its way out of the side of the room, catches up you, Beelzebub. Cetus, do you think you're caught by this as well, or are you out of the way when this comes through?
I think Beelzebub is a much more attractive target than Thetis.
Then you've managed to kind of fall back, and I think you will see, like, while this snake has punctured a hole in the wall and is smashing its way out, it weirdly, like, behind it, you can see that it's warping and twisting so that it's kind of fitting through doorways and stuff behind it as it smashes through here. It looks like a storybook painting of a snake. Like, it has that weird, big cell shaded details. But Beelzebub is in the mouth of this thing. And Samson, Vane, you will hear, like, a floor or two above you, this crashing sound. And Beelzebub, you are now out in the hallway, like on the front of a freight train, as this thing is rushing down the hall. People are flying back into their rooms. It ought to, like, splinter and shatter the hallway, but it somehow fits in here as it runs, running you towards the stairs. What do you do?
Am I taking a condition from this?
Yeah, I think market condition, mark that 2 ruin. That seems fair.
Condition and 2 ruin, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, you're making my day, lol.
I know.
Yeah, I took raging and I just bellow at this thing. Roar as my well, is there something being threatened? Is there something or someone being directly threatened, or is it just the building here?
Well, you are, because you're in the mouth of this venomous thing.
Yeah. Aside from me, is there something I could be protecting?
You don't know.
Here?
You don't know what this thing does. I already punched through a couple of the things.
You know what?
Probably,
I'm worried.
Here, I'll tell you what it is you will see, like, you kind of glance over your thing and you'll see this Manananggal child who's out in the hallway. So, she's dropped her ball and she's running slow motion to pick it up.
Beautiful. I love it. Thank you. That's so pure and beautiful. As I bellow, and with righteous anger and mixed up with hunger, in a complicated kind of way, as I'm going to tear away my skin to reveal what remains of a sleeping harbinger, which is a thing I do.
Okay.
And so that's
how many tokens do you want to spend?
I just took. I'm taking another 3 from embodying my rage, and I'm going to spend 2.
Okay.
And roll 2d6 plus 2. It's a 7 plus 2 is a 9.
Is a 9. So choose what your body changes into.
Yeah. And this is that elemental elemental a harbinger of elemental strength and fury. And I think it might be the human sorcerer that I fed on, that hunted the Manananggal, and I let it loose on this creature as I just sort of like reach up, using that magic power, push and pump up through the palate of the soft palate. I'm inside the mouth, right? Of this thing I'm in the mouth of. Just try to tear through to get to its brain.
So dealing 2
Rage and
conditions.
Fury. Inflicting 2 conditions and taking 1 in return.
What condition are you marking?
My hunger condition, craving.
Okay. You will do that. You will hit this thing, and I'm going to say that you will like turn it, like it flexes from the pain of this and smashes into the stairwell, like avoiding the child, but it is still up and going.
I'm still in its mouth.
Vane, what do you do?
Well, I'm gonna reach out and you see kind of opens her hand, and as she closes it, the enormous unwieldy scythe appears, and I am going to try to fuck this thing up.
Absolutely.
Basically.
So running for the stairwell where you can hear this bellowing and roaring.
Yes.
You'll step into, and start up these stairs, and you will see this enormous, Midgar serpent head come crashing down at you. And I think you have a move for this, don't you?
I think actually I taunted. Yes. Oh, this is gonna be exciting. Let me find it 1 second. God damn it. It's the it's the taunting.
Come on, tough guy, right?
Come on, tough guy. And Midgard serpent worm. Boy, I'm so devoid of any good puns or anything. I'm going to scream defiance and go, come at me, you puny worm.
That sounds good. How many tokens do you want to spend?
2.
Okay, let's have you roll.
A 6 and a 3. So 2 is 11.
Okay.
Altogether.
You will grab onto this thing, kind of like your scythe gets caught, and I think Beelzebub is flung out of the mouth of this, and you are like Tyr from the ancient myth you are in the mouth of this thing. You can choose one from that list above, but you are in it. You are just absolutely over the top right now.
Okay. And so the thing that I will choose is I will inflict 2 conditions on them, but take 1 in return.
Absolutely. What condition are you going to mark?
Raging.
Okay. Here is the thing. 4 conditions is, as we say in the biz, an ass ton of conditions on an NPC. And I think there is that moment when you hit it and you've got that scythe there, Beelzebub comes flying out of there. You can see he's clearly done that thing where he's opened himself up. And I think you run up and you leap forward, and that scythe hits the middle of the snake, top of the snake's head, and then you keep going. And I think we see you run up through the esophagus of this thing, slicing it along there. And I think there is that moment when it vibrates, and then this summoning vanishes, and you're kind of thrown to the stairs, as you completely destroyed it.
Well, that's disappointing that it just disappeared. Fine. All right.
Samson, what's your reaction to this? And then we'll come back to see this.
So I think I just sit back and lean up against the wall, letting Vane and Beelzebub get their aggressions out
Okay.
on whatever this is. If it was more dangerous than they could handle, then I can step in and see what kind of help I can provide. But right now, I don't think I need to do anything.
Yeah, your two heavy hitters go at this thing. You got a glimpse of this before you saw Vane leap up, and you would have felt that release of energy as, I mean, like blood and gore started to spray out. And if this thing hadn't vanished, that stairwell would be slick with snake blood and internal organs. And people are freaking out around, like this is like nothing they've ever seen. There's kind of panic, but of course, a lot of them are still asleep here. It's still during the day. Cetus?
So I think when the snake crashes through the window, or through the wall, it was through the
Through the
wall,
wall, and then into the hallway, and then down
into
the
the hallway.
stairwell.
Cetus it grabs Beelzebub, just rewinding for a second,
Sure.
and Cetus ducks and tries to protect the elder, I think,
Okay.
because now that he has a bond with her, and tries to protect the elder. But I think there's a way that he has a sense that this is a summoning of some sort.
Mhm.
Is there a way that he could use his telepathy to try to track the source of the summoning? Would that be a
I think you could try and
an
grasp a
unleash the
key with
dark?
this if you want.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to
Sure.
try that?
Yeah, sure. I haven't done that yet.
How many do you want to spend?
I'll spend a couple. All right, let's see what happens. I've been rolling really high. Oh my god, another double six. That's the second box cars I've got.
So on a 12 plus, you cover a key, but there's a significant complication cost or fallout. So I think we kind of the camera is downstairs, kind of moves past Samson, kind of watching Vane kind of getting up. Beelzebub, probably a look of disappointment on Beelzebub's face that this thing was destroyed before more damage could be released. But I think like you were reaching into this thing, trying to kind of read it, try to get a sense of it. And when it vanishes, you grab onto like a piece of it that's there before it can go. And I think where you're at in that hallway upstairs, you'll see something form from the air and kind of fall to the ground. And you'll step over and you'll see what looks like a relic, like a carved statue. You can see some of the symbols similar to the things that are in the elder's room, some of the statuary you saw there. But this is defaced, blacked out, and marked up. Like this was clearly a focus for this spell. And we will cut downstairs. Samson, you're standing there, and you will see this figure, ashen skinned, sort of gray. Eyes are red limbed. Their bat wings are out. Can see there's blood on their shirt. And they stagger forward, and you've been given the pictures of the victims. And you see this figure like start to stagger forward, and you'll realize that this is the first victim.
Samantha Reyes.
Yeah. The one who was torn limb from limb. And I think that you can see that something has stitched her back together. And you'll see the madness in her eyes as we tick another tick on the doomsday clock as one of the victims returns. That is where we're going to start next time. And we'll start out with Samson and this figure. That's where we're going to wrap today. Does that sound fair?
Sounds great.
The meta of this is that, just to talk to this, so the doomsday clock has 6 ticks. If it hits 6, then everything goes terribly wrong. So we're halfway there. But the more important thing is right now we've got 7 clues. The difficulty of the mystery is a 6. So conceivably you could start the process now and roll with a +1, but you may want to grasp keys to get another couple. Max is a +3. And if you want to have spares in case there's things you can't associate, but just know that that's there. So the meta is, we'll come in next time, we'll do some more investigating, but either in the 2nd or 3rd hour of next session, we'll probably want to move to doing that mystery solving process, to doing that looking at the Doom's Door. That's going to be our goal for next time. Does that sound okay? Just wanted to outline that. Let's look at everybody's XP triggers. Vane, did you hit your playbook specific XP trigger?
Yes, I believe that I did.
Okay. Mark a point of XP.
Okay.
Did you express your monstrousness or your humanity?
Oh, yes.
I definitely think that we had a bit of that in both directions. So I'll give you an XP for that. Mark that. Do you think you learned something significant about yourself and or your impending ruin?
No.
No. Did you learn something significant about a fellow monster?
I learned that Samson has that guy, that ghostly agent guy. So
Yeah,
yes.
I think that's the first time you kind of realized that. So mark an XP.
Excellent.
And you uncovered a key, so you don't need to mark ruin.
Excellent. All right.
Next is Cetus. Did you hit your playbook specific XP trigger?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Explore my past. Yeah.
Did you express your monstrous nature and or your humanity?
Um, maybe my humanity in trying to save the elder,
Absolutely.
serpent. Yeah.
Yeah, give you a point for that. Did you learn something significant about yourself and or your impending ruin?
I don't think I did this time.
Oh, I think you
Which one?
put yourself in the power of that and tied yourself to that Manananggal elder,
Oh,
remember?
right.
So I think there's a little potential ruin there for yourself.
Little
So I think you
potential
should,
ruin.
yeah.
Okay.
Did you learn something significant about a fellow monster?
I feel like I learned something about Beelzebub during his interactions with the elder and the offering up of his blood to the elder. Um,
Yeah,
and so I'm not sure how to put it into words, but I feel like I did learn something about him because normally, yeah, he's all about his hunger. I've never
yeah.
seen him actually offer himself up to somebody
I
else.
I think that's fair. So mark an XP for that. You uncovered a key, so you don't have to mark ruin.
Okay.
Samson, did you hit your playbook trigger?
I think I did. I gave in to an unseemly desire of my heart.
Yeah, you certainly decided to scare that guy.
Yes.
Did you express your monstrous nature and or your humanity?
Um,
I think we can dovetail that into your monstrous nature there.
okay. I was a little concerned about double dipping, but
Oh
okay.
no, I think that's fair.
Okay.
Did you learn something significant about yourself and or your impending ruin?
Um, the dark figure that appeared to me that was not death, that kind of stopped time, is interesting. It seems significant.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's fair. Mark an XP for that.
Yeah.
And did you learn something significant about a fellow monster?
Um, well, I learned two things. One was that Vane, while I was busy mucking around, Vane got the job done. And whenever, whenever it comes time to, bring out the guns, Vane and Beelzebub are the right ones to point in that direction. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, I
two
think
great
so.
destroyers there. I think that's fair. So mark an XP for that. Beelzebub, you hit your XP trigger for your playbook.
Yes, thank you for providing me with that opportunity.
Uh did you express your monstrous nature and or your humanity?
I think a little bit of both,
Yeah. I think
kind of in the same moments.
yes. What about figuring out something about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think sort of digging into that remnant within me, um, uh, is something that I hadn't done before on camera, and I learned a little bit about that piece of me, and also like what it means that there's pieces of other people in me in addition to this hunger.
Yeah, and a little bit. It's nice to see that history come out. Did you learn something about another monster?
Yeah, I think in Cetus's interactions with the Elder, like I've never seen. Tell me if I'm right about this, Jose, but like I feel like I've seen Cetus be kind of uh like out there and not quite attached to situations. I've seen Cetus be kind of petty towards other people, but I think this was and curious about other people. I think this is the first time I've seen Cetus really connect to someone who isn't on the team. I think that was interesting and something
Neat.
new I learned. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so mark an XP for that, and you don't have to mark ruin.
Mm-hmm.
I know to your disappointment, but
I'll get
there we
there.
are. Uh, I'd like to do a quick stars and wishes if you don't mind. Thank you, by the way, for letting me end early. Just before the session started, I I took a sip of the tea and it went down the wrong way, and I had that like thing, and so I've got that sort of back of the throat scratchy that I have not yet been able to shake, and I am going to go down and soothe that with a lozenge, I think. Cat, stars, wishes.
Um, stars are all around as always. I mean, it's just fun to watch everybody interacting and everybody going off on their own, and it's another fun thing. And stars for a giant serpent smashing through the wall. I don't know how that could not have been high point. As far as wishes go, boy, I wish I could think of one. That's
Okay,
my
no,
wish. There you go.
that's
How
fair.
clever.
One of my players, Paul, he inevitably says more of the same. That's what he says for all the wishes. So, Jose.
Let's see. Images that are sticking with me. Jesse Beelzebub exposing his throat to the elder, and the whole like draining with the knife was a great image, lol. So thank you for that too. And Kat, thanks for getting into that bar brawl with just a little bit of instigation. And Stephen, thank you for torturing the clueless influencer. That was a lot of fun. And wishes. I would like to use. I was hoping to use my Man of a Thousand Faces move, so I'm
Okay.
hoping to use that next time when we do get a little investigative. I think I'm still trying to figure out my stride here with this game and how to play it. So thank you for everyone for your patience with me while I do that. And yeah, that's where I'll stop.
I really loved the stuff you worked up about getting from division headquarters to Manila. I just want to call that out. That was really nice set of imagery, really interesting, and I loved like being able to explore that power aspect of your character. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to like lean into thematic elements more than anything else, but I'm not. I'm still trying to figure out how the mysteries are structured already, so that I don't step on the toes of the mystery as they're structured when I start going free form.
Yeah, I do think it's like the keys are the things we're going to build the solution around, and everything else is kind of context. We're building everything else that would come up is context that will help us backfill and fill in those gaps. And I thought you did a good job there. We can use some of that imagery when you go to talk about things and add that in.
Great, thanks.
Stephen?
Yeah, I'll reiterate. I really liked the imagery and the traveling to join us that Cetus did. I have a move somewhat similar, which I got to take advantage of whenever I took the influencer through where I can appear in places. So it was fun to see both of those pop off. I also really liked, it was a lot of fun just to sit back and watch the glee from Vane and Beelzebub as, they attacked the snake. That was really good. You could tell that they were enjoying themselves. And I wanted to give a start to you, Lowell, for all the NPCs that we had, like Georgie and who was the other one that stood? And the influencer Franklin. They were very evocative. The Elder, I liked the way that the Elder, took the blood and put it up on the shelf and talked about it. It was very good. Yeah.
Nice.
Wishes, I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Okay.
So it's all good.
Excellent. Jesse?
Yeah, I want to give you a star roll, particularly for Georgie, who I just loved as an NPC. Just a ton of fun. They're really cool, and I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing them a bit more, maybe. But if I have a wish, it's more Georgie.
Okay.
I want to start Jose for the I mean, all the imagery in that first scene was great, but I especially want to call out the baby, this big monstrous infant. Love it so much. Yeah, those are my big stars, and the wish was more Georgie. And yeah, otherwise, I'm always excited to take more conditions in Ruin.
Okay.
I'm hoping. I mean, we'll see. This mission, if I could tick my Only Hunger Remains clock once, that would be cool.
Okay.
It gets harder after the first time because I fill out all my hunger conditions after that. So
All right.
like to tick it at least once. see what happens.
Thank you all very much. I am going to stop the recording.